I surveyed 150 business owners, and a lot of them thought that AI is a threat to their business. 72% of them had never used ChatGPT, but the more interesting part was that the 28% that had used it, they were all looking for ways to use AI as much as possible. In this video, we'll look at how AI is the biggest opportunity in your business and how, if you do it wrong, it can also be the biggest threat. We're going to go over 7 ways to use AI for business, and we're going to talk about the opportunities for each and the threats that each pose. By the end of this video, you're going to understand where you can actually get huge leverage from AI starting today, and what you have to watch out for to make sure that you don't do it wrong and you actually tank the company. The first area is in marketing, and the opportunity here is to use AI in marketing copy, and you can use it for websites, writing blog articles, white papers, write case studies. You can do social media posts. Now, if you have tried AI and you're like, it doesn't quite write in a way that sounds like me, it's not actually that the AI isn't working. It's probably that you haven't really learned how to do it in a way that writes in your voice and writes with your kind of content. So don't give up because you think it's not good enough yet. The other side of the coin, though, for marketing is the threat. And the threat here with marketing, honestly, is that you're falling behind. Because you haven't tried it, because you gave up too early, there are other companies that are going a million miles an hour, and they are entirely changing their marketing departments to being AI driven. And those folks are going to win because they're going to have the kind of leverage that you couldn't. They'll have a marketing department that would take you 20 people, and they're doing it all with machines. So the threat in this is that you're not going fast enough and really figuring out how to make it sound like you and get really great results with it. The second area in businesses is in sales, and there's a huge opportunity here. You can have emails written for your sales reps. You can actually have AI respond and create drafts of emails that can go to prospects. You can create sales presentation decks, proposals. You can even have it help you optimize pricing based on what the prospect is. But what's the threat here? You have to make sure that your pricing and that your terms are rock solid. Because one of the things that AIs do is a really good job at putting text together, but sometimes they just make stuff up. So you wouldn't want it going off the rails and offering pricing that doesn't make sense, or making a pitch to talk about your product and say something that it doesn't do. So that is a threat. And remember, at the end of this video, I'm going to go through how I stop all of these threats from happening, and you can too. But let's get on with some more opportunities. And the next is in training your staff. The opportunities in training your staff are incredible. You can actually have it create training materials from standard operating procedures. You can actually take either the playbooks that you have, or if you don't have any, you can have examples from what your current employees are doing and have it pull it in and create training materials for your next employee. We all know that getting your next staff member up to speed is a huge period of time and a huge expense. Oftentimes, you're hiring someone new and they're not actually going to be productive for a long period of time. But creating these training materials from things you already have speeds that up. You can even make assessments so that the new employee can be tested. Do they know how to do something right? AI can make that for you. You don't need to make that test. You can actually make a whole curriculum. You can make training materials, and you can make an assessment test. It's a fantastic way to do that and accelerate your next hire and accelerate when they're making money for you. But wait, there is a big threat in this area, and that is your staff might resent the AI and think that it's coming for their jobs. So one of the things that I found when you put AI into a company, people are going to get very worried that the robots are taking over, that their jobs are threatened. And you really have to talk about it in a way that makes it a benefit to them. Now, I'm not going to go into that in this video. I've got a separate video all about how to introduce AI into your organization in a way that they'll actually thank you for it. But for now, understand that that is one of the risks here, and check out my other videos and the resource I'm going to give you at the end, which is going to tell you how to deal with that. The next area of opportunity and threat is in automation. And this is where a lot of people started with AI, thinking they could automate things, then thought, maybe it's not quite good enough. But right now, AI is actually fantastic, and you can automate way more than you think. So I'm working on software right now to automate a 25-person marketing department using AI, and you can do the same thing. In the old days, you would think, okay, automation, I'm going to put something into software, and then it's going to be locked in, it's going to be automated. But now things are much more dynamic. You can have little pieces of things here and there that you've got technology that people are using, and you can have the AI make decisions about how do I get this process through? So how do I get this marketing project through? And it can make a lot of the little decisions that are not mission critical that people have to make, and it can do it for them. So it really lifts the load that's on your people to make a billion little decisions and lets them make the strategic decisions while it takes care of shuttling things from here and there. That said, there is a threat, and that is if your business process isn't dialed in, you can actually end up automating bad processes and accelerating problems. So if you don't have a system for your company before you try to automate it, then you're going to have trouble doing this. Or if your system isn't very good, it's going to make problems worse. And the second threat is that if your competition does this first, you're toast, because automation is going to let them reduce their cost of delivery and their profits are going to go up. They're going to be able to reinvest more in marketing, and you're going to start losing here. So this is one of those areas where the threat is not using AI. The next area of opportunities and threats is in risk and legal. AI actually outperformed human lawyers in document review recently and is providing faster and more accurate results. Now, they can't replace a lawyer, but there are a lot of things that legal and risk compliance can use in the AI realm to actually make things just go faster for you. Maybe you don't need to have the lawyer do everything the first time. Maybe you can have AI do kind of a first pass. Make sure to always get a lawyer to actually do the legal work, but this can be accelerated with AI. In fact, I know a CEO who is replacing lots of paralegals and lots of junior attorneys with AI and only having the strategic lawyers work on things. It's an amazing cost savings for him. But the threats on this one, things can go very, very wrong using AI instead of a human lawyer. So you could actually get yourself in a bunch of hot water. So it's finding the right mix, which is a huge opportunity to cut a cost that it can be really, really high. You just have to know the right way to draw that line. And again, at the end of this video, I'll show you how I'm doing that. Next is customer service. There's a ton of opportunities here. We've recently seen companies replace more than half of their support staff with AIs, which is an immense cost savings, and support can be 24/7 and be delivered more reliably than with people because the AIs can be programmed to only answer certain questions and escalate anything else to more senior support staff. So this is one of the areas which right now companies are doing a huge amount, and this trend is only going to accelerate. Now, the threats on this one, of course, are that you have to make sure you dial it in. So you can't just go in and think that you're going to connect a generic ChatGPT to your support system and it's going to give good answers. It's not. It really has to be taught with your own information, because a customer service bot gone wrong can lose you customers. It can be terrible PR, and you can lose a lot of money on refunds. Next is analytics. There are a ton of opportunities here. AI can look at your business and provide real insights for business decisions. In fact, just yesterday, I uploaded a whole bunch of Excel sheets and a whole bunch of graphs into an AI and asked it to give me recommendations, and it actually gave me strategic recommendations about where to put our efforts in the upcoming quarter. It's like having a data analyst on call, and it cost me pretty much nothing. Anyone can do this right now, and the threat to you actually is that you're not doing it. You're not using AI to help you make better decisions. I'm not saying it's going to replace you, but if you're not using this tool, which gives you a junior analyst in your pocket to make any business decision, something that can look at all the numbers in your business right now, and maybe you're not really a numbers person, right? I'm not totally a numbers guy. I'm very logic driven, but I'm not a numbers guy. But if you have this person in your pocket, this little AI friend, you can pull it out and say, analyze these numbers for me. What trends do you see? I normally would have to get an analyst to help me with this. I can now do the first pass on this without any help and start making faster decisions. So the threat on this one also is that if you're not doing this, you're going to get left behind. So what you've probably learned from all of these things is that embracing AI is actually going to accelerate you. And the biggest threat in a lot of these situations is that you don't do it. But the second threat is if you do it and you're not doing it in the right way. We all know that some people in the public eye are really concerned about this. Elon Musk is really concerned, for instance, about AI being a potential extinction level event. But we can't worry about that because it either will or won't happen. In the meantime, AI is not going anywhere, and you have a choice right now, whether you harness this tool or you let your competitors do it first and you fall behind. But when you do that, make sure you're smart and you know the risks. We've talked about some of them in this video, but I want to show you how I implement AI in my business and completely contain the risk by having humans, that's you, in control. If you want to learn how I do that, visit Atomized.AI.